at geometry and measures today. We're looking at things that are congruent and also lots of proofs. Now, bear in mind, this is very much at the top end of the foundation. So if you're doing the higher paper, this is very useful for you. But essentially, you're looking at different things. We're going to be looking at congruent triangles. Now, essentially, a congruent triangle means something that's exactly the same. So as opposed to similar shapes, which we've talked about before, when we talk about congruent, we're talking about things that are identical. They're exactly the same. And then we're going to talk about different types of triangles. So triangle, three-sided shape. We know that the angles in a triangle always add up to 180. And we've got different types. We've got an equilateral triangle. Now, exactly as the name suggests, it's when all sides are equal and all angles are equal. And because they add up to 180, they're all going to be 60 degrees. We've got right angle triangles. Again, you've got a big, long tick list here. Go through it. Make sure you get it. Have a look at the congruency rules. Don't worry too much about it. We're going to focus on the questions, and hopefully using those questions, a lot of it will make sense. So here we've got a lot of things about triangles, including some trigonometry surrounding them. So we're looking at Pythagoras as well. So let's move straight onto the questions. And obviously, like I said, you guys are going to spend some time, go through that list, tick it off. If you're unsure about anything, leave a comment and we'll see how we can help. So here we've got a triangle and we've got to work out one of the sides. Now, whenever we think of a right angle triangle, we look at the side that's opposite the right angle. Now that's called the hypotenuse. So that's always called the hypotenuse. It's always opposite. It's always the longest side. So can you see 8 is longest? So this is the hypotenuse. And in terms of our Pythagoras, it's always your C. So you've probably learnt Pythagoras as a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So here we're trying to find one of the other sides. We know the c. So let's plug in some numbers. 3 squared plus x squared equals 8 squared. So 9 plus x squared equals 64. We want to get x squared on its own. This was in a calculator paper, so you can do 64 minus 9. So you get x squared is 55. We're going to take the square root to get rid of the squared. And it said it wants it as a decimal. It hasn't told us how many decimal places. I'd probably do, 2 or even 3 to be on the safe side. And there we go. Right, the next question. We've got another right angle triangle and it's a show that. Even more important to write your working. So, opposite is your hypotenuse, that's your C. Now these could be your A and B. And to show that, we're going to write a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So 7.2 squared plus 9.6 squared. And we type that into our calculator. And we get 144. So c squared equals 144. C is the square root of 144. So c must be 12. Right, let's take a look at the next one. We've now got some triangles and we want to prove whether these are definitely congruent. So are they exactly the same? Now, if you go back and we look at our rules for things to be congruent, you'll see that one of the rules for being congruency, one of 4 different criteria must be met. Now, if we have a look here, we have, we can see that we have all 3 angles are the same. And I don't think we're given, so we don't know for definite because that's not one of the 4 criteria. Either we need side, side, side. There's nothing to say all 3 sides are the same. Or 2 angles and a corresponding side is the same. Or 2 sides and an angle. Or right angle hypotenuse side. So we will say for the first one, no, because this is not one of the 4 criteria. But now we've got two more that are now. And here you see we've got a side that's the same, an angle and a side. So prove the two triangles are congruent. So we'd say two sides are equal. GH equals JK and GI equals JL. And then the angle between them is 36 degrees. So we have side, angle, side. Therefore, that's what those three dots mean. Congruent, if you've seen that before. Okay. Right, so now we've got another question. We got told a triangle has sides and it's giving us the lengths. So we're told a triangle has sides 14.1, 14.8 and 19.5. Now, if it is right angle, then this is the largest one. And the largest one is our hypotenuse and it's our C. So we're going to do 14.1 squared plus 14.8 squared. And that gives us plus 14.8 squared. And that gives us 417.85. If right angle, so if it is a right angle, C squared equals 417.85. C equals the square root of that, which gives you 20.44. So no, as 20.44 is not 19.5. So it is not a right angle triangle. Okay. Let's have a look at the last question now. And the last question is about a rhombus. So in order to think about it, we've got to think about what the rhombus shape is and what its properties are. So let's have a look. Let's go to the next question, sorry. So here we've got a rhombus and it's cut along the diagonals. So a rhombus is a four-sided shape and all the sides are equal in length. So think of it sort of like a drunk square. So it's squished this side. Right. Now, if we have a look at about a rhombus, what do we know about it? So what are your properties of it? If you have a look at it, what can you see? You can see with this rhombus that, or maybe you can't tell, but the opposite angles are always equal and the opposite sides are parallel. And the diagonals, we say, bisect each other perpendicularly. So when the diagonals meet, these are all right angles. Okay. So if we're splitting it, yes, all four triangles are right angles. Are they isosceles triangles? Well, we don't. Are they congruent? Well, yes, because everything's equal. So they're going to be the same. Therefore, the area is 4 times the area of one of them. Hopefully that makes sense. There's not that many questions on this topic because it is very much just like the higher end is a little tweaky bit. I hope this helps. We have got those exam papers ready now, so they'll be going up as well. I'll try do someone live if you think that'll be useful. So if you want me to do the foundation or the higher papers live on either TikTok or YouTube, let me know. I'm happy to. I've got some more time as of next week. So if that you think that will be useful, please drop a comment. Let me know and we'll put a time in and we can go through them live, and maybe I can get one of my A-level students to be in the comment section and help you guys out as we go through it. Okay, so hope that was useful and see you again next time.